Hi everyone, welcome back. Dralon44 here. Hope you're having a great day, evening or night so far. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about the trade market and all those good things. Before we get into it, of course, to let you know that I am giving away a Sky Blue Interstellar with Striker Cert on it at 250 subscribers. Now I have kind of stopped dead at 212 for a little bit, so hopefully, some people will actually sort of see my videos and kind of like the content and hopefully help me towards that number. Once I do, I will do a random number generator and I will pick one of you lucky people to win the item. You can colour it different ways. You can make it look really good with the designs of your car. Lovely decal. I think it is definitely still up there with one of the best ones in terms of design and that galactic look and all those things. And if you really don't want it, you can sell it for, well, in the current market, probably about 50 credits. But, it probably will go up at some point and might be 150. You never know. So it's well worth subscribing, turning notifications on, leaving your ID in the comments if you haven't already done it. And if you can drop me likes in the video, then it helps as well, because, the more likes, the more I get noticed. And the more I get noticed, the quicker I get to 250, and the quicker that I can give this away to you completely free. Anyway, that said, let's get into the content. So, of course, in today's video, it's going to be talking about the trade market and the current state that it's in. How many shops are they going to do that are really good? This is a question mark. I mean, Pyros, Sky Blue inverted wheels, they look sick. Did I buy them? Yeah, 1,300, well spent, or maybe they aren't. But anyway, point is that, as always, we're having a lot of shops that are really, really good. The Lime Reaper not too long ago, I mean, if you buy an individual one, it's going to cost you 20 to 30k, probably more. But, it was only 700, so yeah, I mean, it looks really clean. Lime Reaper, well worth the credits. But, where is this all going? And that's not even it. I mean, we've had a Titanium White Fennec this season. We've had literally loads of other items. Pink Dueling Dragons. But yeah, anyway, needless to say, it really has affected the market so massively, it's untrue. Now, I have got some ideas as to why that is, and I have got some ideas as to the reasons behind it, and what they're up to, and all the rest. And will it end? Is a good question, but also is having a big effect. Now, you can see in the background that there's me buying a couple of Dominus bodies, because a long time ago, I basically had a forest green Dominus body. I traded it actually for an orange. The guy gave me the orange Dominus body and 700 credits, so I got quite a good deal. It worked out that I paid only 1,150, and that was when they were worth sort of 6,000 odd each. So, as you can imagine, made a little bit of profit, or would have done had I tried to sell it. I didn't sell it because that's me, but however, I wanted to get it back. And I do also get a purple one as well, because again, I gave a purple one away to upgrade to a Sky Blue. Totally don't regret the decision. But realistically, these are things that I'm buying. Now, credits are king. So at the moment, if you've got credits and you actually are able to kind of do that, you've got a bartering power that you wouldn't believe. Now, I'm sure some of you will know that, but the ones that don't, be aware. If you've got credits, you can barter people down a little bit, because items don't interest people. They want those items from the shop. Now, obviously, like this guy, he was doing 2,200, which is not a bad price. I got him down to 2k instantly, very easily. He had no arguments. I said, can you do 2,000? I'll pay credits. He went, yeah. I probably could have got him less. Do you know? And that is how crazy this kind of thing is. Now, in my theory, the reasons that they're doing this is because it seems to me that since Epic Games have come in, they probably have looked at the financial books of Psyonix, because now they own them, it's now in their interest, and they're going to have a look at sort of like what they're doing, where they're making money, and where they're not. Now, while you're getting items like these very nice Titanium White Year main wheels, they're not expensive, but, you don't want them to be. Some little things, just little nibblers for the little smaller credit users to have. You want that. But then you also want the bigger items to really kind of rock that trading market as it is. And I think this is all intentional, coming from Epic Games this side. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, how involved are Epic Games? I just got a feeling that they're more involved behind the scenes. They're not involved in necessarily the game, its play, and the shop, like, directly, but they have an influence in certain things. And I think what they're trying to do is that they're trying to get people to spend a lot of their credits. So the less credits that are kind of available on the general market and in game on a lot of players, obviously is going to mean that they can do much more sort of shop exclusives, and people actually have to buy the credits to kind of actually make sure that they're doing it, rather than, just trade their way up to it. they do a couple of little starter packs, a couple of other things, but we've had like a NASCAR bundle, Pink Jeweled Dragons, like I mentioned. We've had so many items this season particularly as well. And you say, well, why is that? Why not last season? Well, things take time. Obviously, when anyone kind of like a company buys another company out, there's going to be a changeover process and a time period that it's going to take to kind of get organized. And it doesn't happen just instantly. And I think that, with Epic Games, I think they have looked at the books, they've looked at the finances, and they said, well, the game's not doing bad, but now that you're free to play, you need to make us money, basically. And it kind of makes some degree of sense. And it's like anything, you just say, well, okay, why is it that they're doing that? If they have lots of people without credits, they're going to spend, or at least a majority of people are going to spend, or a percentage of people are going to spend. Maybe not everybody, but what happens is that the trade market, they're not trying to ruin the trade market. And I think the trade market in the state of side of things, which I did a video about not too long ago, I think that this trade market will go back to kind of how it was to a degree. But will it be exactly how it was, and all those things? That is very, very debatable. And it really comes down to a question of what they want. Now, don't get me wrong, these gaming companies are greedy. I used to play Apex Legends, well, I still do, but, and I used to do videos about them. Now, one thing that EA kind of stepped in, and they kind of own Respawn, they are so greedy, it's untrue. Now, everyone says, but EA don't have influence over what Respawn do. They do. And they don't have, influence maybe over the game necessarily, but what they do is that they actually come in and they're much more greedier. They push for collection events, they want money all the time, and it's incessant, literally. And Epic Games are no different. I mean, look at Fortnite. If you play Fortnite as well, you will know that those shops are constantly refreshing daily, and how many of them are good. They all are good, or a lot of them are. You get sometimes a really duff one, but then, in a week, you'll probably get, 5 that are really good and 2 that aren't so great. And you can see, okay, the market is really taking a drip. I bought a purple Dominus for 4,000. Was it the cheapest one? No, it wasn't. But the guy replied, I wanted it. I didn't want to wait around. I could have got it for about 3,850 if I'd have waited just a little bit longer. But to me, 150 credits, I just went, do you know what? I can't be bothered. I'm going to get it now. Get it done, just in case the market did shift. And there's always that risk. You never know. I mean, the market, in theory, could shift any time with a couple of crappy shops. But they've taken a hit. And I mean, it's like I was having a look. So, Octanes are still the staple of the market. They're never going to change in that way. But I had a look and I saw that the pink Octane that I did a trade for not too long ago had gone up to between 800 and 900, which, considering it wasn't that long, that has gone up. But then you've got things like a Crimson's Octane, which is still selling. I mean, on PS4 and PC, they still are, they're much lower, shall we say. 2,100, 1,900 to 2,100, which is a massive hit. Yet on Switch and Xbox, they are much more expensive. Like on Xbox, nearly 3,000, 2,900, I think it is. Something like that as max price. Alright, you might get 2,750, but it's still quite a considerable lot more. Well, those platforms aren't as popular. Switch has only really just come into it, not that long ago. So obviously you're going to kind of say, well, okay, that's going to take a while. And Xbox probably has fallen down a little bit, just because I suppose PS4s and PS5s have been more popular at the moment as regards to platform. So of course things are more expensive, and you do notice that with a lot of things. If you buy credits anywhere, yep, you're going to see a higher price. Not in-game necessarily, but if you buy them off anywhere else, you will see a higher price. Now, I will say that as regards to the market itself, you're going to see a shift. I mean, there's no doubt they're not going to continue making the market really bad, but they obviously want to get rid of a massive influx of credits. And the more people who have credits, especially the OG gamers, the original gamers that are sitting on 300,000 credits, that's who they're aiming for. They're not aiming for necessarily the other people. Although, if people spend, well, they're not going to complain, because obviously they do want, money and things like that. And I know it's a theory, and I guess I could be wrong to a degree, and I get that. And if I am, that's fair enough. We'll never know for 100%, because obviously they don't tell us. But it does seem to me that they're trying to really clear out the economy. I played a phone game, it must have been a good few years ago, and they did the same thing. They overran it with way too much, which were tokens, I think they were, for trading and using for sort of various events. Well, they did a massive thing where they just did continuous events, for a period of about 2 months or something like that, to kind of reduce the influx of tokens, reduce the number of all those people. Some people were sitting on hundreds of thousands of these things, things, and they could spin for days on this wheel thing that you'd win prizes and stuff. Basically a form of gambling, even though it was a game. But, you know, and that is the point, is that, again, they tried to balance it. Now, eventually, they got some balance and it went back to normal, and I think that's kind of a similar thing here. And I'm kind of like, as I say, I'm not completely, like, 100% guaranteed to be correct, but I think that is what they're potentially doing, as well as looking to make money, of course. I mean, that is going to be the sort of thing. Now, obviously, for me, you know, I'm thinking, well, okay, that does mean two things. It does mean that there is opportunities to make profit while the market is low. If you've got the credits, or if you've got actually the ways of doing it, you can make some really good sort of like purchases for cheap. And I know that I did a series, or I'm sort of started a series where I did buy some items, and I'm looking to kind of make some profit on them. Now, I haven't continued it as regards to the next episode, but there's a reason for that. I've been waiting for a good opportunity. I don't want to go and sell my items for too cheap. I can potentially make profit on them, but I know that the economy is a bit of a strange one, so it has delayed me in making that video, because I want to show what potential money you can make. It's not just credits. I mean, I don't mind trading items, because items will become valued in the end, but if I want to buy stuff from, say, the shop, it is not going to help me at all. Now, luckily, I got some credits, but, you know, eventually they're going to run out. And if they keep on continuing with all the good items, it is going to get a bit of a nightmare, because there's just no end to it. So there are going to be times when you're going to have to just literally pick and choose, kind of miss those items that maybe you did want, but, you know, no one can buy every item. And it is literally becomes almost impossible. I mean, sometimes I've had to borrow credits off a friend to then buy an item and then get credits afterwards, because I just haven't got them that day. And it's scary, you know, because if you didn't have that person to do that, you're just going to miss out the item. And it's like, they just are relentless at the moment. Titanium White Fennec for 800 or 700 credits, absolutely insane. And that really probably was the one that blew the market down, probably as much as it's ever going to, because how the hell do you ever compete with that? Because you've just taken an item that was worth maybe 14 to 15,000 credits and literally said, here you go, have it for 800. What? Absolutely insane. And, you know, I mean, like Dueling Dragons and, you know, things like that, they're more expensive, but, you know, a Line Reaper that is worth loads on the market, if it's tradable, oh no, don't worry, we're going to sell that for 700. What? And then making things affordable. This is where it's scary. Now, what I will say with the market, I mean, okay, my personal opinion is I see it literally coming back and being a lot better than it was. Why? Just because it's the way that it will hit eventually. A lot of it is going to be patience, though, and a lot of it is going to be sitting there and just waiting and trying not to sell those items unless you're absolutely desperate. If you see an item in the shop that is so amazing and you really, really must have it, well, yeah, I mean, okay, that is understandable, and you've got to, obviously, then you get it, fair enough. But otherwise, I would not try and sell your items too cheap at the moment. But what you've also got to respect is that, you know, people ask me, oh, you know, should I sell Dueling Dragons? Dueling Dragons at the moment is probably one of the items that I can see that is at such a low, it's almost ridiculous. Now, of course, I do see Dueling Dragons rising in price at some point. Back to the former value and what they were? No, probably not. But, you know, I can see them definitely rising up at some point. Same as sort of Emerald Wheels. I mean, Emerald Wheels are really nice. Again, they're just one of those ones that, you know, because you've got the RFCLS tournaments on, the events, they're giving them free. Of course, they're going to drop in value because just more people have got them at the moment. But, of course, you know, that'll end on June the 20th, I believe. And, of course, eventually that will probably make the price rise up a little bit. Will they be the same value as they were before? Again, maybe not. I mean, I bought a couple of pairs to try and make some profit on, and I probably may have made a mistake. I don't know. Market is just such a weird one. Who knows? Who rightly knows? But anyway, needless to say, I just wanted to kind of cover some of it and just explain things as best as I could and just sort of say, look, you know, the market is in a strange place right now. It still is. If they stop with all the good shops and they kind of relent on it, we're going to see the market go up and we're going to see a change. If we don't and they keep bringing out new things, which is what I think they're going to do for a while, we are going to see most definitely a kind of incessant thing. And I think it will kind of stop every couple of days. I think it's going to be a little bit of a pattern where, you know, like one day the shop is terrible, which actually I waited for the shop to be released. We got like an orange breakout and like some other stuff. It's garbage, no problem. You know, and I think that is kind of great, but I do see a lot of things changing. Anyway, that is said, I think that is the main majority of what I wanted to say in this particular video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop me a like on the video, it'd be amazing and really help out. If you want to subscribe, help me towards that 250 subscribers, and also give yourself a chance at that Sky Blue Interstellar with Striker on it, then of course, please do. But otherwise, that is it for me. So thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of the evening, day or night, whatever you're doing. Cheers now. Bye-bye.